All through last week, the first reading at evening prayer was from the Song of Solomon. Some people were surprised that a few of the passages were really rather raunchy, and with a number of additional people joining us online to say evening prayer through Easter week, I thought I might offer a word of explanation. The Song of Solomon is also sometimes known as the Song of Songs. It's a surprise to some who don't expect this sort of thing to be in the Bible, but it's wonderful for other people to find that this sort of thing is in the Bible. Yes, admittedly, it's a quite unashamed and sensual love poem, written as a dialogue between a lover and his beloved. It's the only book of the Old Testament also in which there is practically no mention of God. But it's often understood that either God is love, as in the New Testament letters of John, and so God is present in all relationships of love, and therefore is present throughout the book, throughout the Song of Songs, or else the book is seen as an allegory of God's love for us. So God, or Christ, is our lover, and we are the beloved. Of course, in the Old Testament, there's often the idea that God's people have been unfaithful, but here we have a long poetic description of faithful and fulfilling love. We get a lot of readings from this book at Easter, because the Gospel story of Mary Magdalene going to the tomb on Easter morning to seek her Lord is often paralleled with words from the Song of Songs, "I will seek him whom my soul loves." There are some wonderful early church and medieval writings based on this imagery about God's love and longing for us and our response to God. And even in Puritan times, they made use of the Song of Songs a lot. Interestingly, a lot of preachers and church men at this time were quite comfortable portraying themselves as the female beloved, responding to Christ, their male lover. To come up to date, I don't know if you've seen the film Keeping Mum. I recommend it for all sorts of reasons. Maggie Smith, Rowan Atkinson as a rather hapless vicar, and Kristin Scott Thomas as his wife, who's in danger of having an affair. This film makes great use of the erotic value of the Song of Songs, with the words being used by Rowan Atkinson, learning to fall in love with his wife again and rescuing their marriage. One last comment, but one which always comes to mind for me. In the early 2nd century, decisions were being made about which books of the Hebrew Bible should stay as part of the canon of Scripture and which might be left out. The lack of any direct mention of God in the Song of Solomon meant that this was nearly left out of the canon. But one particular Rabbi Akiba, I think it was, spoke up and ensured that this book would stay in our Bible. All Scripture, he said, is holy, but the Song of Songs is the Holy of Holies.